I find it easier to try to make people laugh. It's always as challenging as it is to try to make people laugh. It's much harder to do physical stuff and do scenes that have big action in them, and much more difficult to make that lifelike and make that seem real and seem like you're really in a catastrophe or you're really in a crisis or something is completely out of your control, and how do you regain that control is always more challenging. I know that action movies get run down because they say, oh well, they're just fighting, or something's exploding. But I find it more challenging, actually. His family thinks that he does something completely different and something really kind of pedestrian for a living, and that family secret gets uncovered in this film. And some people get saved and some people don't get saved in this film, in The Cold Light of Day. I have a very adversarial relationship in Cold Light of Day with my son, with my eldest son. And it is just at that time in a father and son relationship where it's just all friction. And it's during that big frictional time in the film that the secret that I've been keeping from my family is revealed. This story really is more about the other side of it than it is about, because it's all about caring and it's all about love and familial love, but it gets out of everyone's hands, and everything gets spilled. And Henry has to make a choice to do the things that he probably didn't want to do because of the legacy that I left him. So, which is I think is a really great part of the story. The history and the stories of what you hear about, your family and your family legacy, and then sometimes you don't get all of it until after the fact. And what I was saying about action films or films that have drama that surrounds action and activity is not something that I ever thought of as that's what I want to do if I ever get a chance to work in films. And it's just something that is a challenge every time to make it lifelike. That's the job. And I find that I can make my kids laugh and make my wife laugh much easier than I can ever get them to think, okay, now just imagine me jumping off the building or doing anything like that. It just seems so, come on, really? You're gonna jump out of the car at 50 miles an hour? It doesn't seem like the right thing to do, and it seems so unbelievable that the real task is to try to make it believable. And I don't always, on my own scale, on my own slide rule of what I think is realistic or not, sometimes it gets away from you. But I like this film. I like the relationship between the father and the son and the family, and the shock of finding out that someone is not what they say or not what they have always appeared to be. Everyone makes mistakes in families and in family relationships, and what you don't say and what you do say, or if there's any secrets at all that are tucked away or kind of glossed over, it becomes a really tricky thing when your kids are no longer kids and they understand what a lie is and what a lie that's been covered up for a long time, and you thought that that your father was one thing, and then you find out that he is not that thing that he's always said that he was, is always I like that story.